This anime has been popping up on my feed, on my stories, on just everything for years now. This movie came out in 2022 and I think it actually won Anime Movie of the Year. And I've been interested in it. Finally sat down and watched it. And this movie was really fucking good. From the images and videos I've seen online, I've seen a lot of environments in this story where there's a lot of overgrown things, cities kind of broken down, there's a lot of rust on stuff. There was a natural disaster that happened there. People moved out of those cities and just completely forgot about them. There wasn't enough resources to bring them back to life the way they used to be. And it's kind of sad seeing that, but that's where we find our main characters at, actually. So Suzume is the main character, who's a 17-year-old girl. She lives with her aunt. Her mom passed away when she was really young and her aunt took her in. And one day when she's going to school, she runs into this man and she feels like she's seen him before. They cross paths and he asks her, hey, do you know where these ruins are? And she's like, oh yeah, they're over there. And they both go about their day. She rides her bike to school, but then she thinks to herself, have I seen this guy before? And she really thinks about it a lot, to the point where she rides the bike to the ruins and encounters a door there. And we get to see how these ruins are flooded, overgrown with grass and greenery. Absolutely no one living there. It's beautiful. I actually really like these moments where we see all these places. She opens the door. Nothing really happens as she opens the door. And then she opens the door again and she sees something inside the door. And she's freaking out because she sees something through the door, but there's clearly no way there should be anything there because it's just empty space all around her. She freaks out, tries to go through the door, it doesn't work. Tries it again, it doesn't work. And then she ends up hitting some relic on the floor, picks it up, and it comes to life. Shocked and appalled by all these things that are happening, she leaves. Eventually, when she gets back to school, she's talking to friends and she sees there's a fire going on in that area she was just in a while ago. She rushes to there and sees Sato, one of the main characters there, trying to close this door. Sato's a closer. This job runs in his family. He has been tasked to close all these gates, all these doors across the entire world to stop natural disasters from happening. If he doesn't close the doors, these big ass worms come out and cause earthquakes, cause all types of bad to happen in the world. Suzume comes and helps him close the door, and this is the start of their relationship forming. Let's talk about these two characters for a bit, because I think they're absolutely adorable. Because in the story, after this incident happens, Suzume is like, I need to clean your arm because he gets a gash on his arm. So they go to her place. He sits down on this tiny little chair that was in her room, and as she finishes cleaning up, they're talking to each other, and then this cat appears out of nowhere. Sato turns into the fucking chair, and for like an hour and like 20 minutes, Sato's just a freaking chair the entire freaking film, which is something I was not expecting at all. And it was absolutely hilarious because of the way these two interact with each other and just go about their days. And people on social media post about the chair, and it's just hilarious. But more than that, these two stick through it all together. They're both saving lives, risking their lives, because this place that she saw past this door is called the Ever After, and the living cannot go there. So these two basically save thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of lives throughout the entire film, and they're there for each other the entire time. And it's so funny because it's her and this tiny little chair that's this big the entire time, but it's Sato. So the interactions that they have together is so funny, and everyone's always like, dude, what's up with the fucking chair? And she's like, oh, it's a family token, like my mom gave it to me, but it's literally her crush, because she ends up falling in love with him, I think, in my opinion. She actually ends up falling for him. And that part of the story was kind of weird to me personally. I feel like it happened really fast. I thought it was really fast for her to really care for him, but at the same time, she's seen someone sacrifice his own life to save other people's lives. So of course, the girl is gonna fall for someone who is so empathetic to people and self-serving to others, which is a huge thing in the story. I think one of the main points that I got from the story was that we need to be careful with the environment. Just like the last video I just made on Lazarus, when I talked about all the environmental climate changes that were happening in that story, in this story, it kind of happens too, because these places, they get destroyed with natural disasters. And what they do, what Suzume and Sato do, is they go to these places to acknowledge all the people's lives that were there and hear their thoughts and try and become them and feel all the emotions they were feeling, to, I guess, set them free from what happened to them And at the same time, it's creating balance between humans and nature, because as you all know, the planet we live in right now is kind of getting destroyed because of what humans are doing to it. So I think it's beautiful that these nature places are isolated for years, and then these gates start opening and they're going to cause even more damage. But it's like, no, we need humans to be here so we can take care of what's going on here, because if not, it gets too much, it gets too overwhelming in a sense. It could be in the physical sense and in the spiritual sense, which I like that view or my interpretation of it. And that's one of the main points in the story. It's the environment, I think. And there's a lot of spirituality here too, in my opinion, because when Salto's closing the gates, he does his prayer every single time to the gods. And he basically, I wouldn't say gives his life for them, but in a way, it's like a mutual exchange between each other and trying to find harmony in between having humans around nature, in my opinion. But I think one of the main, if not the main thing that got me very emotional in this story was Suzume. Suzume is a shy girl at the start of the story, and by the end of it, she's gone through hell and back because she has to live through her trauma, her grief as a kid. This is a spoiler warning if you haven't already noticed. I'm just gonna be talking the entire video about this movie, so spoiler warning if you don't want to get spoiled. For some reason, she's so set on helping Salto close these gates and trying to help him in any way, shape, or form. It's also her rebelling against her aunt, and it's kind of conflicting because here is the person she loves and she's just ignoring them completely, setting off on this adventure for herself. And it's crazy, the first person we meet in the story to what she becomes at the very end of it, because this is probably the biggest moment in the story for me, and it's when she finds the door she first opened. And not in the first scene of the movie, she found a door when she was 4 years old. That's right. There was a natural disaster that happened in her hometown, and I think that's where her mother passed away. And she could not deal with that sadness, with that guilt, with any of those negative emotions she was feeling going through that tough time. And she thought her mother was still alive during this time. She was basically trying to trick herself that she is still alive, she's just lost. And in being lost, she tries to look for her. She ends up finding this door, same thing. It's just a door by itself, nothing around it at all, nothing to go into. She opens the door and she gets lost. She goes into the ever after. And in there, she's trying to find her mother, crying out to anyone that can hear her. And Suzume, in the present moment, has to go there, because if she doesn't go there, then that door isn't open. So she goes through that door to finally put down 2 keystones. I believe they're called 2 keystones, which is Daijin and I forgot the second cat's name, but they're both similar names. If they don't put these 2 keystones down, then this worm is going to keep on going rampant. So she goes there and remembers her childhood. She remembers drawing in this journal the place itself and the amount of sadness she felt. There's literally pages and pages and pages where she just draws black, because that's the amount of anger, sadness, depression, anxiety she felt losing her mother as a kid. It's a really tough loss on her, as it would be for anybody. In this moment, in the present moment, older Suzume opens the door and she realizes the entire time in this movie, she thought that moment she was looking for her mom, and she saw her mom in the ever after as she's experiencing closing all these gates. She thinks it's her mother. It's actually future her. She realizes that she thought she was her mother. And in this moment, it's just a very beautiful and emotional moment, because Suzume finds her younger self. She saves Salto, she saves the world basically. And in that, she's able to save herself. She finds her kid self. Her kid self is just crying, pleading to help her find her mom. And she knows that she can't help her because she's gone. And she has to accept that, her younger self. And she sees her younger self crying, and then because she sees her younger self crying, she realizes that she's not gotten over it at all, and she starts crying too. And in a very huge moment, she steps up for her younger self, and she's like, I know it seems like you're not going to get through this ever in your life. It's the lowest of the lows you can ever experience. It's super dark in your mind, in your hearts, in your entire body. You cannot see a shed of light. But somehow, some way, it's going to get better, and you have to trust me. You just have to trust me. It's going to get better. And in that moment, her kid self has no idea what the hell is going on, but she just has to tell her that, because eventually she is going to understand where she's coming from. she's giving herself retrospective in the sense that she's helping her younger self in the present moment, which is just beautiful. And the way this entire movie is animated, drawn, it's one of the best movies I have ever seen. I've been watching bangers back to back. Lazarus is one of the best shows I've ever seen, visually as well. And this movie is even better than that somehow. Like, it's crazy. Anyways, in this moment, it can make the audience tear up because it's such an emotional moment. And the chair that Salto finally escapes that little weird curse he encountered, and he gets his body back. She actually gets the chair and gives it to her younger self, in a sense trying to make her move on and have that chair be her source of strength moving forward, because she kept that chair all those years and it was her source of strength, in my opinion. So this movie was just phenomenal. I wish I saw this in theaters because I saw this movie like 3 years late, and I can definitely see why I won Anime Movie of the Year. I don't remember the movies that came out in 2022, but this movie is just special in so many ways, so many aspects. It's also hilarious too. There's a lot of funny moments in here, but also those dark moments that we see at the end of the movie, and when her aunt fights with her in the middle of the movie too. It's just a lot of great moments in this movie. And I wanted to just talk from it, I guess, from memory, from watching the movie, and from the heart, I guess, and what it made me feel, because I've never really done it in the video. But yeah, that's Suzume. I highly recommend for you to check it out. Make sure to have fucking tissues next to you, because if you don't, you're gonna regret it. Trust me, you're gonna need those tissues, man. Especially if you watch it with a girl or your mans or family or your siblings or whatever, you're gonna need those damn tissues. I'm telling you now. This movie is phenomenal, and I hope my girlfriend sees it. I want her to watch it because I think she'll really enjoy it. This movie was not made by Studio Ghibli, which is usually the movies I watch are made all by Studio Ghibli. But in a sense, it reminded me of Howl's Moving Castle. I remember the storyline in fragments, but there was a moment in Howl's Moving Castle that reminds me of the ending of Suzume, and I think that's beautiful because they're both their own stories. In a sense, there are some similarities that you can see across all these movies where there's like a love interest involved in the story, but they both have their own things and they both flourish in their own ways. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching the entire video. If you watched all the way through, you're a real one. I appreciate you. If you can please like, subscribe, share this video to anyone that you think will enjoy Suzume, I'd really appreciate it. We've been so close. We've been so close to getting 1,000 subscribers, so I'd really appreciate if y'all would do that for me. I've been trying to manage my work-life balance. So since I'm doing this internship, trying to do work, trying to do content, spending time with family, spending time with my fiance, trying to do the whole thing. And I think this is probably the best way, not doing scripts, because I actually do take a while in doing scripts. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and peace, everybody.